Well, Larry Pratt is the Executive Director of Gun Owners of America. He joins us now live from DC. Thank you so much for joining us, Larry. The gun control debate is not new. We roll out the figures of deaths from mass shootings in the US far too often. When you heard the news of the Las Vegas shooting, the worst in modern US history, did it challenge your views about gun control?
What it did was almost immediately I was able to find out that this was one more gun-free zone in which a mass murder had been perpetrated at the hotel. In fact, all but 4 of the mass murders in our country since 1950 have been in places where the victims were legally disarmed because they were in what had been declared to be a gun-free zone. And hopefully we're going to get some action regarding that in the aftermath of this tragedy.
But do you think anyone with a gun with the intent to kill cares about a gun-free zone? I mean, this is a bigger issue than having a gun-free zone, isn't it?
Well, it certainly puts the spotlight on how futile it is to declare a gun-free zone because they don't work. And so instead of looking at how we can keep criminals from being criminals, it seems that this should teach us, if nothing else before this has, we need to look for ways where we can empower potential victims to reduce the carnage while they're waiting for the police, because it takes time for the police to respond to a call, and they're not a magic wand. So the question has been for a long time, what do we do while we wait for the police?
That is an interesting point you make, and one we often hear from the pro-gun lobby groups in the US, that what if some of those people in the crowd had a gun, but this man was on the 32nd floor of a hotel. He had rented out a hotel room and broken down 2 windows to get 2 different vantage points. What good would somebody in the crowd having a gun have really made in this situation?
Well, I think you make a good point that this is an outlier, whereas many cases where some dirtbag is involved in a criminal act of some kind, it's usually not at a quarter-mile distance. But the point is, there was a false sense of security all the same that, well, if we just declare it a gun-free zone, then we've taken care of the problem. Obviously, once more, we've seen gun-free zones don't work.
They absolutely do not work, particularly in this instance. Thank you very much. That's Larry Pratt from Washington, DC.